My story isn't special. There's nothing about me that stands out. I hear this all the time. Maybe you've thought it yourself. Maybe you've even said it out loud, dismissing the idea that you have something worth sharing. And I get it because I've been there too. We scroll through social media, watching people with seemingly extraordinary lives, massive success stories, or jaw-dropping transformations, and it's easy to think, well, I don't have that kind of story. Who would care about mine? It's a sneaky little lie, one that keeps a lot of people from ever stepping into their potential. But here's the thing, what if the very thing you think makes you unremarkable is what makes you relatable? What if your story is exactly what someone else needs to hear? We've been sold this idea that only the most dramatic, tear-jerking, or mind-blowing stories deserve attention, that unless you've climbed Everest, escaped disaster, or built a billion-dollar empire from your garage, your journey isn't worth telling. But if that were true, then why do we connect so deeply with everyday experiences, the struggles, the small wins, the honest moments of doubt and perseverance? Think about the last time you found comfort in someone's words. Was it because they had an out-of-this-world success story? Or was it because they shared something real, something that made you say, wow, I thought I was the only one who felt that way? When you step into the world of digital entrepreneurship, personal branding, or online business, you're not selling just a product or service, you're selling trust. And trust doesn't come from flashy success alone. It comes from authenticity, from showing up as yourself, from allowing people to see who you are and why you do what you do. People don't buy from businesses, they buy from people. And in a world overflowing with generic marketing, the most powerful thing you can bring to the table is you, the real, everyday, work-in-progress version of you. Maybe you think your story isn't special because it feels too normal, but what if someone out there is waiting to hear from someone exactly like you, someone who didn't have it all figured out, who struggled, who took messy, uncertain steps towards something better? Because that's the story most of us are living, isn't it? Not a highlight reel, but the behind-the-scenes moments that don't always make it to social media. Consider this. There are countless people right now scrolling through content, feeling stuck, feeling unseen, wondering if they're the only ones who don't have a clear path forward. And then they stumble across someone like you, someone sharing openly, honestly, with no pretense, someone showing them what's possible even in the middle of the journey. If you're still doubting whether your story is worth telling, let's break it down. You don't need some grand cinematic experience. You just need moments that shaped you. Here are a few ways to uncover them. Think about your turning points. Was there a moment when you realized you wanted more? A time when you faced a challenge that changed your perspective? What problem have you solved for yourself? Maybe you figured out a way to work from home while raising kids, or you built an online income stream that gave you more freedom. That's valuable. What do people ask you about? Often we overlook our strengths because they feel obvious to us. But if people keep coming to you for advice on something, that's a sign your experience holds value. What would you tell your past self? Imagine speaking to yourself from a few years ago. What do you know now that would have helped you back then? That insight is gold for someone just starting. The hardest part isn't figuring out if you have a story. It's having the courage to share it, because sharing feels vulnerable. It opens you up to judgment, self-doubt, and the fear that no one will care. But what if, instead of focusing on the fear, you focused on the one person who needs to hear what you have to say? Imagine someone sitting in their car after a long day, feeling like they're failing, feeling invisible, scrolling mindlessly on their phone, and then they hear your story. Not a perfectly polished, exaggerated version, just the real, honest, this is where I started and here's what I learned version. And it gives them hope. It makes them feel less alone. That's impact. If you wait until your story feels worthy, you'll never start. If you wait until you have a six-figure success story or a perfect brand, you'll miss the chance to connect with people who need you now, exactly as you are. Start small. Share a moment, a lesson, a realization. You don't need a full autobiography, just a snippet of your journey, something real, whether it's a post, a video, an email. Just start and then keep going. Because here's the truth, your story isn't just about you. It's about the people who need to hear it, and they're out there waiting